When you're a man like me in my early 30s, I have no kids, I'm single. It's going to be pretty hard, I feel like, moving forward to really find someone that you're going to connect with. Because so many people, they're coming out of relationships they're dealing with all this past trauma from from their previous relationship. So they're not probably fully healed, you know? You're meeting all these people who kind of feel like they're a catch, they feel like they're a perfect 10 or whatever, but they don't have their stuff together, you know? The way relationships don't last that long anymore. I feel like that time is over when relationships lasted for 10, 15 years. I feel like those days are over, you know? They're all about for self now. What you can do for me. What does this person do? A lot of people judge you based on what you do for a living. Most people get married not for love. For the women, they get married for financial security, you know? They want to be taken care of. And I totally understand if you feel like you want to be taken care of, that's something that you want. As you know, you have every right to have those standards, you know. But most men today, some of them don't even have the finances to really take care of a family. The average guy in the dating market is screwed when it comes to that, because he's meeting a whole bunch of women who want to be taken care of. They believe that a man should be paying their bills. Most men are waking up. They're not going to be doing that. But some men feel that if they are not where they're at financially, they don't need to pursue a woman. They have no faith in dating because they're not where they need to be at. And that's understandable. And I don't know, man. I just felt like I'm just prepared to be alone, man. If I don't end up ever getting into another relationship, I'm content with that. I'd rather be happy. I'd rather just be by myself instead of getting into another relationship because I'm afraid to be alone. And that's not going to be healthy. And that's not fair to me. That's not fair to whoever I end up being with. Because all I'm doing is wasting their time because I'm not really into them like that. It's hard, man. I feel like, with my ex, that was the only person I've ever loved. And that was the strongest connection I've ever had with a woman. Out of all the women I've dated, that was the strongest connection I've ever had. That we were together for 6 years. I don't think it's not that easy to find good connections like that. It's not. You can lie to yourself and ignore red flags and deal with this person because you just don't want to be alone, but it's not real. If it was that easy to find such a good connection, a real connection, there wouldn't be a need for dating apps. And I think a part of me too is I just probably don't feel comfortable giving my all to a woman like I did before, because in the back of my mind, I felt like the relationship will end anytime soon. Because we're in a time now where people don't want to do the work to make relationships last. If you're going through any financial setbacks in life, most women are not going to be down for you when you're going through a financial setback. So that's just my generation right now. That's my generation right now. It's so hard to find a connection. It's so hard to meet someone you're compatible with. And dating just sucks. Dating just sucks. And I know a lot of us, we like to compare our lives to other people's lives that we see on social media, but please don't stop comparing yourself to what you see on social media. The internet is not real. There's a lot of people who are living miserable lives. You may be down on yourself because you feel like, dang, I thought I'll be married by now. I wish I had a family of my own. But there's a lot of people in miserable marriages right now who are suffering, but they can't leave. They can't divorce this person because they need help paying the mortgage. They can't afford to divorce them. So don't ever compare yourself to other people that you see on the internet. The internet is not real. And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of guys who feel the same way I feel. It's like we, you know, we may not find the one. Because as we get older as men, our tolerance for BS is that low. We're not going to tolerate the stuff we used to tolerate in our 20s. We don't have the patience for that anymore. You have a lot of women coming into relationships with baggage. Most men are not going to deal with that. So to find a good partner, to find the one is going to be very hard and rare. I feel like you have a better chance of winning a scratch off than finding someone you're compatible with. You know? And I'm not trying to be picky. I'm not a picky person, you know? There's no such thing as a perfect partner. They just got to be perfect for you. But to find someone who gets you, who you click with, it's gonna be tough. I think that's why I have no faith in relationships. I have no faith in finding the one. True love, does it exist in my generation? I guess it depends. Because money is king, money is power. Love, you can be in love, but if you're not financially where you need to be, that relationship is not going to work. You know, if you've been broke throughout the entire relationship, how long is that love going to last if you're not making that much progress in your life? Love is definitely not enough to keep a marriage going, and it's not enough to keep a relationship going. I think finances are the number one reason for divorce. A lot of people go through financial setbacks in life. But when you go through those setbacks, most relationships end. So you could be on a high with your partner, and there could be a time when you just lose it all and she's gone. You see a lot of women's true colors when you lose everything. I just feel like most of us men, we're going to end up being alone. And I'm not saying being alone because we're losers or we can't get anybody. I think we value our alone time better than we did before. Because we're alone, we're at peace. You know, when you're at peace, you know, I don't think you're going to just invite anybody into your life that can potentially disturb that peace. Most people are not going to do that. You know, you're not going to invite someone who's going to come into your life with arguments, drama, baggage. When your life by yourself, you have no drama in your life. It's peaceful, quiet. It may be lonely sometimes, but it's peaceful. And that's a good thing, you know? I don't know, I just wanted to talk about this. Because it's been on my mind lately about how I just feel like the dating market is just so... I just don't have the time or energy to really pursue. I just don't have the energy to do so. I get turned off really quick. I'm at a point in my life where I just don't have the energy to really care to get to know a woman on a very personal level. This entire year, man, I've been by myself. I have not dated. I've had a lot of hookups, like friends with benefit situations, but to look for a relationship pursuit, no. This year, I've had a lot of women hit me up for sex. I turned down a lot of women for sex, you know, because I just wanted to be alone. Because the beginning of this year, man, I slept around with a lot of women, and it gets, you know, it gets played out pretty quick. Sometimes I need a break, and I'd rather just be alone. And it just made me realize too, because I've been with so many women hooking up, but they're also going on dates, having guys pursue them, they're getting to know all these guys while we're having sex behind closed doors, you know? And I think if I were ever to like go out there and try to date or even take any woman seriously, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking about, okay, even though we're going on dates, I'm pretty sure she's having sex with someone else who's not really even taking the time to get to know her. because that's where I was at. I was having sex with all these women and I wasn't taking any of these women on dates. I wasn't spending money on them. They would come right over, we would have sex, and they would go on a date. So moving forward, that's always going to be in the back of my mind. Like, is this woman doing the same thing that these other women were doing when I was with them? And I think that's one of the main reasons I don't really have no faith in dating. I don't have no faith in relationships, because where we're at in the dating market, no matter how good this person is, someone is going to be unsatisfied, and that's always the woman. As a woman, when she's used to getting all this free attention on dating apps, all these messages, I feel like that can be kind of addicting. Most men are not getting that. If you're not if you're not the top 2% man or whatever, you're not getting that many matches and likes. That may be true. But I did pretty well on the dating apps. I'm just an average guy. I did pretty well on the dating apps. And I didn't have to spend any money on dates. Because the end goal is sex, right? I'm just trying to have sex with these women. I just feel like where we're at right now, women are never really single. Most women have a rotation of men that they're dealing with. They're not. I don't think both men and women, but mainly women. They're not going to put all their eggs in one basket. They're always going to have a backup dude in case you mess up. And that's another reason why I just don't have any faith in dating or relationships moving forward. And I think, man, I don't have no kids. I don't got no family. Sometimes I feel like if I haven't found someone by now, it ain't going to happen for me. Because I'm in an age range right now in my 30s where you have a lot of women in their 30s. They feel like they are settling with whoever they meet because they didn't marry their first choice. They're with some guy in their 20s. They gave the best years to some guy who didn't really appreciate them. So now that they're in their 30s, they're trying to settle down. They're ready to have kids now. You got a lot of women feeling like they are going to settle for whoever comes into their life. And some of them do. They've said this, they admitted this, that they've settled for their husband. And you probably can see when you see a beautiful woman and you see her husband, they look like a mismatch. But she was in a rush to settle down. She was tired of being single. And that's what happens. We're in an age range where when you're in your 30s, that's the age where a lot of people think they're going to be settling for somebody because they think they're getting too old. But if you feel like you have to settle for someone, don't date, don't get into a relationship. That's just a waste of time. I get it, you're afraid to be alone, but just be by yourself. Be happy and alone. Why get into a relationship where you're going to have resentment for the person? You're not fully happy. And it's not just me who feels like they're going to be alone. I feel like there's a lot of independent women as well. You worked so hard to become successful. You worked so hard to be this entrepreneur boss chick, and you don't got no one to really share this with because your standards are so high. You probably make a high six figures. You want someone to match your income or more, and you're still coming up short. And there's probably a guy who matches your income or more, but you're not attracted to this dude. He don't got swag. He ain't that physically attractive. You want to find someone who's fine and sexy, who makes six figures or more, and you're still coming up short. You're not meeting these guys. If you are meeting these guys, some of them may be using you for sex. They're not committing to you. Now you're starting all over again, trying to find someone to settle down with. You have a lot of so-called independent women who feel like they're going to be alone as well, but they refuse to settle too. They say, I'd rather be alone than just settle. We are all going to be alone, I feel like. Most of us. But who knows? The new year's coming up. I may have a change of heart, but I just don't have any faith in relationships. I have no desire to date, to put all my trust in a woman. And how relationships don't last anymore. She can feel some type of way one day and just want to end the relationship because she's not happy. This ain't doing it for her. She doesn't feel a spark. A lot of people give up on relationships because they feel like relationships it's supposed to be exciting 24/7, but that's not how real life is. A relationship, you guys are not going to be on a high every single day. You guys are going to have your highs and lows. There's going to be some positives and some negatives in the relationship. Not everyone is perfect. We all have our own flaws. And I'm just in a generation where I'm in a generation now where the economy is so bad. Dating sucks. Everyone is jaded. Everyone has all this baggage from previous relationships. Everyone is holding out for the best option they can find. When they found someone who was good enough right there, but no, they want to hold out to find someone better. We're in a generation where we always think we can do better. No matter how good we got it, we feel like we can do better. And we never learn our lesson. And that has to stop, man. We got to stop that. There's no such thing as a perfect partner. They got to be perfect for you. And a lot of people don't realize that. I don't know, man. I just feel like I'm going to be alone. I just don't have no desire to date. I don't have the energy to. Like, I'm so busy. I go to the gym. I'm doing other things outside of my busy work schedule as well, you know. I got hobbies and stuff. I'm cool with just doing things on my own, but I don't have a desire to date. Like, to take a woman on a date, I don't care to do that. To take this woman on a date where she's probably been on 10 to 15 dates within the 10 to 15 dates within the last 3-4 weeks. A lot of women go on dates wasting people's time. They're not even into this person, but they're getting free attention. That's the main reason why women go on dating apps, just to get the free attention. I'd rather not play this game. I'd rather just be alone and just focus on me. What real benefit am I getting from just getting with a woman? I'm not really into her. She feels like she may be settling. She ain't fully healed from her past relationship. I know I need to be alone. I ain't getting no benefit from that. You know, I still got a lot of work to do on myself. I'm not perfect. I don't feel like I'm the best version of myself yet, but I'm getting there. And I'm a work in progress. But I just wanted to do a late night ramble. How I just don't have no desire to date. I don't have no desire to really even start a family. I just don't see, it's weird, I just don't really see that. I saw that with my ex. In terms of having family and all that, I saw that with my ex. But moving forward, I don't know if I even see that now. Because I never really wanted kids in a family before I met my ex. So now I'm back to that mindset because I don't know if I ever meet a woman who was gonna make me change my mind again, like how it was with my ex. But yeah, I don't have any faith in relationships or dating. I think dating is just so screwed up. What's the point? I'm not on any dating apps, and I'm not going to be on any dating apps in 2026. Moving forward, I'm not going to be on dating apps. So this entire year, I spent no money on dates. I wasn't really pursuing a relationship. And for the new year, I'm going to continue to be single, focus on me, do the work on myself, and just, you know, if that person comes into my life, they come. If not, I'm just cool with just being by myself. I will not pursue any woman right now. I'm just focused on me. And that's my life right now. That's my life. I have no desire to date. And because even when I was on the dating apps, it's just early 30s, man. There's so many people who have kids and they just got divorced. And I just feel like when you go through a divorce or a breakup, you just need to be by yourself. You don't really need to be on a dating app. But there's a lot of people who are trying to do that. And I think both men and women just have dating fatigue. We're all burnt out with dating, and we all just need a break. We all need to give ourselves a break from just dating, trying to pursue. Because when you've been on the dating apps for so long and you're still not finding what you're looking for, you come off as desperate because you're so desperate to find someone. You're so desperate to find a relationship. And when you're that desperate, you're always going to attract the wrong type of people who are going to take advantage of your desperation. So most people just need to take a break and just focus on themselves. And that's what I'm going to do. And for guys out there, man, if you are not satisfied with what you've been finding on these dating apps, man, take a break. Take a break. You wasted all this money on paying for all these dating apps and still you got nothing. You're meeting all these women you ain't really into, but they expect you to really treat them like a princess and all that and pay for all this crap, but don't do it, man. Focus on you. And if you're not ready to date, don't date, man. Just focus on you.